On the back of the jet ski, there's quite a few cracks in the fiberglass around where the seat and that rear handle bit mount to. I assume it cracked from people being too rough with the handle at the back here, or tying it down too hard with ratchet straps when towing it. So there's a crack right along the back edge here, and then more obviously 2 across the diagonals here. So my plan is to use a Dremel and grind out the cracks so that I can fill them properly with epoxy and fiberglass to strengthen them again. And then I'm going to also add a lot of reinforcement to the underside corner where you can see there's a lot of room to push a fillet, which will strengthen it even more because it's very weak and slightly flexible now that it's cracked. So yeah, I want to fill the cracks completely and then also add some strength and make it even stronger than stock. And it's in a place that you can't even see, so it'll be nicely hidden, but just upgrade. So, things to fix for the back: that crack there, the crack along the front, that crack there, and right the way around on the inside. On the Dremel, I've got quite a few bits to use, but I think a small ceramic bit will be the ideal one for most of it. So, let's get right into it. Right at the tip of the jet ski, the front of it has obviously contacted these bits on the trailer. So what it's done is it's actually cracked the fiberglass just in one of the layers here, because there's 2. There's the outer hull and the bottom hull. So top side, bottom side. So this I need to push back in. You can't actually manage to push it in past these 2 outside bits. So what I'm going to do is trim it and rejoin this whole front end and basically reform the curve of this front lip, making sure that it's nice and rounded correctly. Shouldn't be too hard to do. But so now I'm just going to take the Dremel and Dremel out these front bits so that I can fix this front end. Right, now after this front edge is done, underneath on the second layer, you can see there's also the damage to this bit here. So I'm just going to Dremel out there and there. It's way harder to film though, but I will be repairing this correctly as well by refiberglassing it and putting some filler there. So once I've Dremeled out all the cracks and breaks, what I can do is take this hook It obviously used to be just on here, and hook him up just inside there, just pulling it lightly, and it pulls it into the position where from the top it is almost perfectly lined up. Of course, then the filler and the fiberglass I'm going to put is going to take the rest of the shape, and it will be sanded many more times to get it back into shape. So what you can do is hold it like that. Now I'm going to come and fill in here with some epoxy and fiberglass and get this a bit structured up once I've got it all clean and wiped down with acetone. Okay, to fill and repair the cracks that I've now ground out with the Dremel, I've now got some filleting microsphere blend. I've got some old epoxy, a little bit of fiberglass if I need, and a little bit of chop strand from a whole big mat. The mixing ratios for this epoxy is 1:5, so 1 part of the hardener to 5 parts of the resin. So with this little measuring jug that's got markings up to 35 ml on there, what I'm going to do is just put 5 milliliters of the hardener and 25 milliliters of the resin, coming to a total of 30 milliliters, mixed at the right ratio. Then I'm going to stir it up. I'll have one that I have with a microsphere filleting blend, just to push into some bigger filler gaps, and then I'll have one that's just resin, where I can push that into places and wet it down at first, and put some fiberglass in places that it needs. So that's my little combo for now. Okay, so I finished up with all the fiberglass and filler work and epoxy work around the back here, fixing those 2 cracks, and the one that runs along there has got filleting material and fiberglass in it too. So that's fully curing up. Once it's done, then I'll sand it back to get a good bonding surface, and then I'll re-epoxy and filler just to get it into its exact final shape up along here. Then it should be ready for paint once I've sanded the whole body. And then same thing around the front, holding it in position with a vice grip so that it gets its right shape around the top here. I've just filled in that little bit and that little bit with a bit of fiberglass in the epoxy. Once this is dried, I'll sand it again to get a good bonding surface, and then I'll re-epoxy and fiberglass a strip right over the front here. That brings it back into line. Same thing with underneath here. And that wraps up this episode. If you want to see how I finish the process, that'll be in the next episode, which is all about painting the jet ski. So it'll be part of the prep involved. And since I'm painting the whole ski, not just a small repair, you'll get to see how it all comes together as part of the greater restoration project. It's going to be super satisfying getting this abandoned jet ski back to its former glory, and even better. Click the next video or playlist to stick around for that, and see how I turn my vision for this cheap marketplace find into a flashy looking beast of a weekend machine. I promise it'll be worth it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like down below, and if you like satisfying restorations, subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes or projects. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.